But you can see we dropped down for your Saturday to a moderate level when we're talking about air quality. So overall, everyone out there, if you're looking to see, okay, what should I do? Kind of possibly use that mask as a filter for some of those pollutants, especially if you have that N95 mask. So here's painting a picture as to why we're seeing those that wildfire smoke here in the Triad. So here we're talking Northern California and Southern Canada, some states that also fall in between there. That airstream in the upper levels is helping to bring that wildfire smoke right here to the Triad, and that's the case for your Thursday afternoon. The setup doesn't change much for the day tomorrow, and so that's why some of those pollutants will sort of linger in the atmosphere through your Friday. But as that system does shift a bit going into the weekend, that's when weather conditions will surely enough improve when we're talking about pollutants. Now the rain chance forecast, though, that's when things change for the Triad. I'll have more details on that in just a bit.
Let's turn to the headlines now in your 4 to 5 roundup. A Yadkin County school bus driver is charged after a crash that sent kids to the hospital. Highway Patrol charged the driver with a moving violation. The bus overturned on Rena Road in Jonesville coming from an elementary school yesterday. 26 kids were on board. The school system says several were hurt. Most of the students involved in the crash were back at school today, and we're told they're doing well. British rocker Eric Clapton says he will not perform at venues that require people to prove that they've been vaccinated. Clapton shared the announcement on social media, saying he will not be on a stage where there is a discriminated audience present. This comes after British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said nightclubs and other venues with large crowds will have to ask people to show proof of full vaccination. Clapton has been releasing anti-vaccine and anti-lockdown statements and songs for almost a year. Well, if cuteness won gold medals, these babies would take all of them home. You have to look at your screen right now. A hospital in Missouri is celebrating the Olympic Games with handmade onesies and gold medals for their newest athletes. Newborns were dressed for a variety of events: swimming, weightlifting, boxing, basketball, gymnastics, even tennis. Workers passed a torch to kick off the celebration, and families were invited to their special ceremony. And Dunkin' fans, you can keep running. In Greensboro, a new shop is now open on Battleground Avenue. Mayor Nancy Vaughn celebrated the store, saying she felt like she was coming home again after growing up in the North with Dunkin'. The store opened at 5 o'clock Wednesday morning with more than 60 people waiting in line to get their breakfast and coffee. It also celebrated the opening with a donation to the Special Olympics of North Carolina.
As the world continues to reopen, it may feel like you're paying more for everyday items like gas or groceries. Reports show U.S. inflation is at its highest since 2008. I spoke with financial professional Scott Braddock about how you can refresh your budget for the new normal. The rising cost of gas and food is being felt by many, even financial professional Scott Braddock. He says he recently had to pay more for chicken wings at one of his favorite spots.
And so I'm friends with the owner. I was talking to him and he said, you know, the cost of chicken has gone up. So he had to raise the cost of some of his items, including the chicken wing.
This is called inflation.
That means that our purchasing power decreases. We have to spend more dollars in order to buy the same products that we're used to buying each and every month.
According to the Labor Department, consumer prices increased nearly 1% last month, and prices are up 5.4% since last year. Braddock says he encourages others to make a new written budget.
Something that they can focus on, because when we make quick decisions during these short financial cycles, or focus too much on inflation, and that dictates the financial decisions, whether it's investing or saving, often that leaves the investor burned.
He also suggests having an emergency fund for the unexpected.
I recommend 3 to 6 months of expenses saved in an account separate from all the others. The folks that had those in place prior to the pandemic, they understand the value of those.
And last, prioritize paying off debt.
Where you orchestrate your debt from the highest interest rates to the lowest, start paying off those highest interest rate debts first. You'll start to build up a lot of momentum, sort of like an avalanche, and get that momentum going that you need to pay down that debt.
And though inflation is high right now, Braddock says reports show it's only temporary and is not going to stick around. But again, he stresses it's always good to have a plan. For more budget strategies, look for this story on our website.
Welcome back. Think about this for a minute. You're moving to a new country, a different language, you don't have a job, and you have $100 in your pocket. How do you make it? Didi Awaka knows firsthand how that feels. He moved to the TRIAD from West Africa and started a new life. And thanks to Habitat for Humanity, he and his family now will soon have a brand new home. We caught up with him today as they were raising the front wall of the house. So Didi, tell me the beginnings of all this. When you came to the States, what was it like?
When I came here, the green card, so I got to wait for my car, and I was living with my cousin. So I have nothing. Even clothes, I don't have clothes.
Was your family back in Africa?
Yeah, my family is back in Ivory Coast. My mother is there, my brother and sister is there. And at this time, my wife was waiting for me to come get her.
So Didi, the role that Kate Donovan played in your life, she's the godmother to your kids. I mean, what did she do for you guys?
Kate Donovan, when I came here, the first thing she did for me, it is help me find my way. So she found me my first car because I was walking to go to work. She let me help her clean her apartment so she can give me some money, and she paid my tuition in school. She helped me go through for immigration stuff to bring my wife here. She guided me in every single step of my life, even when my kid was born.
A house is a house, but a home is where your family is, right? So what does this house mean to you?
So for me, the most important thing is that we have our own place. It's very important for me to have my own place, because the future is about how you feel in your own place. And this future for me is not in the future, it's right there. I'm in my own place. Thank be to God for this journey.
So I have to tell you, he's so full of life and love. And when he got up and spoke for me, because they did a little ceremony before they did that, and when he was telling me the story, he was like tearing up, because he said, I came here without my wife, and I had to make my way first. And he goes to New York City, takes a bus. He said, I slept on the bus overnight to come to Greensboro. He had a cousin that lived here, but he could only stay here for a short amount of time with his cousin. And he got a job. He said, I had 2 and at one point 3 jobs, and I had to walk to work because he didn't have a car. He did all that and saved money until he could get his wife to come over, afford that. Then they came over and started a family. And the lady you saw, she works for First Presbyterian Church, got a hold of him. She was his landlord. She loved him, loved the family, helped them through everything, and now he's got a CNA certificate, he's a nurse, he's getting a master's in applied sciences, and he's getting a home, thanks to Habitat.
Yeah, beautiful story, great photos of the family, and Habitat for Humanity just does such great work in this community and all around the world, actually, and it's so easy to go out and volunteer and help them do the work that they're doing.
It just goes to show how important it is to have someone in your corner. Like, for example, his landlord in this situation stepped in for them and really helped them on their new journey. And I think that it just teaches me and maybe some people out there that if you have the opportunity to be that person for someone else,
That's right.
you should do it, because it can make a difference.
He made her the godmother of her children, of their children, because, and she still is right with them in everything they do. And it was interesting, what he was right, everybody was writing on the walls, his family, and so that'll stay inside the walls once they drywall it over. It's really cool. So in the next half hour, you talked about volunteers. We're going to show you a group of retirees that volunteer their time, sometimes 3 days a week, every week, regardless of the rain. These are men that have retired, and women. There are a couple of women, and they all work on these houses for nothing.
I love it.
We'll talk about that in just a minute. Stick around, we're coming back.
Oh, forgot I'm not wearing it. Mic check 1, 2, 3. My head's clearly in other places. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I can't wait for this. In about 6 weeks, Saturdays are going to be very busy with college football.
But before teams hit the field, they're speaking to us about what to expect this season.
Right, it is day 2 of ACC Media Day. Wake Forest and NC State are in the spotlight. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is live in Charlotte.
September is not too far away, and it really doesn't feel like it here at the ACC kickoff. It's the first time we're hearing from Atlantic Division coaches and players ahead of this season. Head coach Dave Clawson and his guys over at Wake Forest, they spoke to us earlier today, and it wasn't just us. Coach Clawson talking to everyone, spending time on Radio Row talking about this upcoming season. His players here too, telling us what we can expect in about 6 weeks. As for those expectations, the guys say we'll see an explosive offense and one of the best defenses the Deacs have had in a long time. The Deacs finishing 4-5 last season, COVID canceling quite a few of their games. The Deacs have been to 5 straight bowl games. No matter how many of those they go to, though, they still feel like they're underlooked.
We expect it at this point, but as always, it's great to, people don't believe in us as always, and as a competitor, that kind of gives you a little fire. And
you'd like to think after so many years of getting the bowl games and winning that, but perception's hard to change, and it is what it is. We don't concern ourselves with it.
It's been like that for the past 5 years that I've been here. We love it. We like being an underdog. We kind of use that as motivation, and we're taking that into the year.
And maybe one day that perception will change. They hope to do that this year. Wake Forest is set to open the season at home against Old Dominion September 3rd. Now NC State is here too. We'll talk to them coming up at 5.
Our director, Brad, will be excited to hear from the Wolfpack. Amanda, thanks so much. College football is right around the corner, but so is Panthers football. FanFest will kick off the Carolina Panthers season in just a few weeks. That's the best fan I think I've ever seen. Let's play that on a loop. The Panthers are going to welcome fans back, though, to their usual preseason celebrations for the first time since 2019. FanFest is Friday, August 6th, and tickets are now on sale. They are $5 a piece. You can get them on the Panthers website or on Ticketmaster.
Got me all pumped up now.
That looks like a blast.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm so excited now. College and pro football. It's like the summer is hard for me because I'm not really a baseball fan. I mean, I loosely follow it. I'll watch the series, but that's about it. So I always have to wait until football and basketball.
I'm excited, and it's been so long since I've been to a sporting event that was live and sat in the stands and watched a football game. 2019, right? So I'm ready for this.
I'm ready for it too. So have you guys been to a Panthers game?
Oh yeah, love it.
What was that experience?
Maddie, don't tell me.
I haven't been to a Panthers game. I've been to Bank of America Stadium. Obviously, I cheered for the ACC championship there when UNC was there, and they did ACC kickoff one year. In the Belk Bowl.
But you haven't been to a
I've cheered there
Panthers
3
game?
times, but I've never been in
You gotta
the stands.
go to a Panthers game.
Another thing we can do together.
Yes. Have you done? Have you been to any pro football game before?
I have. I've been to a couple. What is this? Is it the Washington team now?
Yeah,
Washington football
the Washington
team.
football
I was about to
team.
say the other name. I've been to a few of those games because I'm from
That's
that
fun.
area, and that was a lot of fun.
All right, we'll talk. I hope we talk more Panthers when we come back. We'll see. We'll be right
We're
back.
not.
Probably
but
not,
we can like on social media.
Cool, I'm calling him right now. Hello.
Hello there.
Hello, Dwayne. This is Monique. You can't see me yet, but I heard you are an amazing weather spotter. Can you do me a favor and do a quick mic check and count to 10 for me?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm used to saying sir. Look at that.
I'm like, what? What?
Already did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Perfect. Your Wi-Fi is amazing.
Oh, yeah. I got a good connect.
All right, so we have about, I think like a minute or so until we actually start the show. I'm going to start off with a radar, and then I'm going to kind of toss and talk to you a little bit for about 20 seconds as I texted you about, again, you can't see me at the moment, but you will see me soon. And I heard you're a weather expert, so I know you know how this thing goes.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, cool. So just hold on tight for a second, and we're still on the break, commercial break. That's right before my hit. And again, I'll just like toss to you and we can chat it up.
Okay.
Well, we had dry conditions across the TRIAD yesterday, and much of a similar picture as we look to our satellite and radar today. We did have somewhat of a cool front drop down to our south and leave behind lower dew points, and that's why today it's feeling less muggy outside. Now, I do have a weather spotter joining me today. We have Dwayne Young. Dwayne, where are you located?
I'm up in Stokes County in the Lawsonville community.
Well, recently, Dwayne, we've been talking a lot about the haze. Are you still seeing low visibility in your area?
Yes, it's not quite as bad as it was yesterday, but the mountains we can normally see, like Pilot Mountain and Hanging Rock, they are basically not visible this time right now, and it's a little bit of a silhouette for Pilot Mountain, but usually they're clear as a bell, but not right now.
Have you gotten an opportunity to step outside either during sunrise or sunset and see the real difference of the skies when that sun rising or sunset, the oranges, the pinks maybe color in the sky?
Yeah, it's a little different than it normally is. It looks, I don't want to use the word hazy, but it's like, I don't know, a brownish tint sometimes.
Now, ever before, have you ever seen your skies look like this previously?
Yes, we've had the smoke come in this area before, and it's not uncommon for us to see it when they have those fires and they predict that it's coming. So we've seen it before.
Now, definitely, I just want to encourage you to take precaution, and anyone else out there, whenever you're seeing that hazy skies, it definitely could impact your respiratory system. I want to say thank you so much, Dwayne, for joining me here as my first successful weather spotter. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you're like Dwayne or anyone else that's really enthusiastic about weather and want to join the WFMY News 2 weather team and become a weather spotter, make sure to email weather@wfmy.com. I have more details on that full 7-day coming up at 4:30.
Thank you, Monique and Dwayne, one of our favorite weather spotters there. Well, think about this. Hurtful words can sometimes feel like bricks being thrown at us. So how do you let go of the weight and pain when those hurtful words come your way? Here's Coach Lamont with today's U-Day message.
So many of us have experienced people throwing bricks at us. These bricks are hurtful words, false accusation, mean names, anything that you can imagine, add it to the list. This was my state. I was weighed down by bricks that it became my identity. It was how I identified with myself. It was the names that I even called myself. It was how I related to myself. Brick by brick, I was lost in a world of my own pain. It is hard at times to find ourselves out of this pain, especially when those bricks that are thrown are bricks that you eventually use against yourself. I decided one day to take those bricks and build a wall that will protect me from the people that hurt me, protect me from the pain that was inflicted towards me. And when you use your bricks that way, you will see just how dynamic you can be away from their actions.
I'm just telling you that was a gift for sure. For sure. No, I'm talking to all the people who are listening to this mic check right now that Courtney did just really give them a gift. I'm just saying. No. No.
Mic check, Jalen. Mic check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. We are inching closer to Friday. I can smell it.
We sure are. Maddie Gardner here with Eric Chilton and Lauren Coleman this Friday, Junior, or Thursday.
Friday, Junior, I'll take that. And it's not just a show with us. We want you to be a part of the conversation. Head over to our Facebook page and join our live stream.
We have a lot of news to get to this afternoon. Our top story, Cone Health and 5 other healthcare systems are going to require employees to get a COVID-19 vaccine. Healthcare officials made the announcement today and pointed to the quickly spreading Delta variant as one of the reasons. Cone Health CEO says right about 60% of their staff is vaccinated. But now, by July 30th, all staff, students, and volunteers will need to be vaccinated. Cone says they will work with those who fall under religious or medical exemptions. In addition to Cone Health requiring the vaccine, most major medical systems in our state will as well. Novant Health, Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center, Atrium Health in Charlotte, Duke Medical, and UNC Health hospitals will all require staff to be fully vaccinated. Again, I'll say they will talk about medical and religious exemptions with employees who request them. This story is already getting a lot of reaction on our Facebook page. Susan says, sad. Employees should have a choice and not lose their jobs if they say no. Melissa says, I will find another job. And Gretchen writes, I think this is wonderful.
Well, we all know during the last year plus, there's been a heavy burden placed on healthcare workers, and we're talking worldwide here. Our area hospitals, no exception. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey spoke with one TRIAD man who wants to share his praises for local healthcare workers. Jalen?
You're absolutely right, Eric. Gary Hall spent close to a week at Wesley Long Hospital in Greensboro battling acute respiratory failure. Now home, Gary Hall wants to make sure he's able to thank everyone who played a part in his recovery after a fight for his life.
They were absolutely the best. The employees, the staff, the facilities were the absolute best that you could hope for.
After spending several days in the emergency room, heavily sedated, things began to turn around for Gary. He credits everyone who he interacted with for his recovery.
Every single person are fantastic. There is not a hospital in this country, in this world, that you could go to for any amount of money to be any more well taken care of.
As of right now, the recovery process is slow for Gary, but he says he's just thankful to still be alive.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. It's been 2 years since a driver hit and paralyzed a North Carolina state trooper. In 2019, Trooper Christopher Wooten was paralyzed from the neck down as a result of his injuries. Last year, Wooten graduated from a rehab center in Atlanta and moved into an apartment. Last month, he was designated an honorary trooper by the Georgia State Patrol. He hopes to return his home in North Carolina later this summer. And stimulus checks are going out 4 months after President Joe Biden signed the bill to approve them. In the past 6 weeks alone, more than 2 million payments have been sent. Many people who updated information to the IRS. So in total, more than $400 billion has been distributed. Now remember, these are the $1,400 payments for Americans who made less than $75,000 in 2020, or $2,800 for a couple who is up to $150,000. And First Lady Jill Biden is in Japan for the Olympic Games. She is leading the U.S. delegation in Tokyo. Today, she had dinner with the Prime Minister and his wife. The Olympics is the first solo trip, adventure abroad for the First Lady, and it will include 3 days on the ground in Japan. She plans to attend the opening ceremony on Friday. And Britain's Prince George is 8 today. The palace released a new photo of Prince William and Duchess Kate Middleton's oldest son. They said the Duchess took the photo in July at the family's house in Norfolk. George is third in line for the throne behind his dad, William, and grandfather, Charles.
Runners, I want to say, don't be fooled by the low humidity. Those pollutants related to the California wildfires in southern Canada as well, still in the air, still in the atmosphere, and still could affect your respiratory system. I'm going to show you guys the setup of what weather conditions we're seeing, why we're seeing the weather conditions we're seeing now. This cold front that's dropped well to our south kind of moved through dry, and that lowered our humidity just slightly today. High pressure in place. That's why we're seeing in the sunshine. That's why we have very few fair weather cumulus clouds in our skies. Now, as we go through the course of the weekend, this front is going to lift northward and then increase the shower chances and storm chances going into the weekend. So keeping a close eye on the weather features to see what we can expect here at home. But you can see as that front lifts, so do those dew points, dancing right back around that uncomfortable 70s range. For tonight, we're staying around the upper 60s, partly cloudy skies, not too far from average. And then as we look to the foothills, much of the same mid to upper 60s across the area. Tomorrow, forecasting numbers back into the upper 80s. Definitely some sweat feels heading out the door, partly sunny. Make sure to grab those sunshades. And then as we look towards the metro area, just about the same in the upper 80s with partly sunny skies. So here's a look at that full 7 days showing you it all together. I know you see it. Some 91s on there. It's been a while since we had them in our full forecast. I mean, take a look, a series of them starting on Monday and then continuing through your Thursday. And then you can also see on there the shower and storm chances are increasing. So overall, expect hot, humid, and shower and storm chances over the next couple of days.
This is my question. Who are you going to call? Eric, I know your answer.
Ghostbusters!
I was thinking too. Right.
And
okay.
then my mom.
Yeah. In that order.
In that order. All right, let me give you some context to the question, then maybe the answer will change. I want to show you this couple. They talked to reporters after they lost more than $8,000. You see, they went to this PNC ATM after getting a phone call that they thought was from their daughter.
Call came in at 2:17. It was my daughter's voice, very panicky and crying, and said, "Dad, I hit another car. I was in an accident." And the lady in the other car was pregnant.
The scammer, pretending to be the daughter, claimed that she now needed money sent to her attorney to get her bonded out from jail after the accident and also to get her phone back. Well, that's when they got out the money from the ATM.
So I texted her. I said, "Do you have your phone back?" And she texted back and said, "Did you mean this message for me?"
Yeah, the scammers pretend to be you or a grandchild, and they're panicked and they're crying, so maybe they kind of sound like your loved one. They need money right away. So now I ask again, who are you going to call? As in, who in your family do you need to tell this story to warn them?
Yeah, because so they don't get tricked thinking that you're calling
Absolutely.
them in an emergency.
Horrible.
Yes.
And I understand the crying thing takes
Yeah.
you out of your normal vocal element so that you don't know if that's real. I mean, you probably believe it.
Right. I mean, I think it is a very believable scam.
Yeah.
And it can happen. It's not just to the, what you think would be the grandparents or anything like that. It is to everyday people, right? So before we head to break, I want you to listen to what the BBB says you should do if you're worried that the call is real and how to tell if it's really fake.
Check out the story with other family members. Call and see, have they been in contact with this particular loved one? Don't call the phone number provided by the caller or the caller ID. And ask questions that will be hard for the imposter to answer correctly.
Earlier in the show, we showed you that wonderful work that our friends at Habitat for Humanity do, and they do this all the time, every week it seems like. But here's one group who truly amazed me, and they usually want absolutely no publicity for what they do, but I forced them to talk about themselves for a change. I caught up with Ken Lisk. He's with the Weekday Crew to hear about their tight-knit group of volunteers at Habitat for Humanity. So Ken, tell me, what does the Weekday Crew do week in and week out?
Well, basically, we get the house ready for the large groups of volunteers that generally come on the weekend. Now, that's during the pandemic, we've been doing most of the work. But the goal is to get the house ready for the volunteers that come on Saturday to have a good work experience.
So do I understand this right, that all of you're volunteering your time, all of you come out here almost every week and there's no pay?
That's true. We're all retired, and we generally bring our own tools as well, and our own lunch most of the time. But it's a rewarding work, it's good fellowship, and it's fun.
So these guys will not brag on themselves, so I have to ask you, what did they actually mean to this process?
They mean homes for families. The Weekday Crew is an invaluable group of retired men and women that have, after their careers, have given selflessly of habitat 2, 3, and sometimes 4 days a week. They are out here, snow, rain, no matter how much we're sweating and how hot it is. They're out 2, 3, 4 days a week helping us make these homes possible and working side by side.
Every week?
With homeowners. Every week, without fail.
There must be a bond and you develop because you're doing something so valuable that I guess all of you probably feel that love that goes into this house.
Well, yes, of course, the end result is very rewarding. But on the way, we have a good time ragging one another and challenging one another. We've got some people here who could build a house by themselves. So it's nice to help, and it's a good way to learn. So we're mostly having a good time.
It's amazing that when they said sometimes 2, 3, 4 days a week, and this is every week all the time, it doesn't stop. So they may sub out every now and again, but she said they're like religious about being there.
I'm sure that's a great outlet for a lot of people to be able to do good for others. I'm sure it makes them feel really good inside, and that's what brings them and keeps them coming multiple times out of the week.
What's the saying? If you love what you do, you'll never work a
Yep.
day in your life. Even
That's
though
right.
this is a volunteer gig, it really does seem like those men and women love being there, love helping people, love being a part of that community. So I think that's awesome. I love that he mentioned that they bring their own lunch. I feel like we need to bring them lunch.
You know, that's a great idea.
That would
That's
be a great
really good
idea.
Yet another thing for us to write
For us
down.
to do. Get them
Is
some
someone keeping
sandwiches
track
and some
of
water.
this?
Yeah, I have a list. You know I'm always keeping
I bet
notes.
you
I got my
do.
notebook
You
over
probably
there.
do. The spokesperson for Habitat, their marketing director, Christine, told me, she goes, well, now I do bring them popsicles every now and again.
okay. Oh,
that's
so
perfect.
yeah, they get something out, especially in the summer. All right, so from fixing up houses to reaching across fences.
The pandemic forced people inside, limiting how and when they could get together.
But neighbors in Minnesota did not let the virus, age, or fence between their yards get in the way of their friendship. Boy Hubert reports.
Two houses separated by a fence. Benjamin Olson in one.
Mama.
Just turned 2.
You knocked the tower down.
Mary O'Neill in the other. Just shy of 100.
This is Yahtzee.
For more than a year, both found themselves pandemic prisoners.
A lot of just us in this house.
I'm playing against myself.
He has never really had any other friends.
Until Mary and Benjamin
Hi, Benjamin.
found each other.
Give it a kick. Here comes the rainbow. Woo! Here comes. We call it cane ball.
They're named for hitting one over the fence.
Wow, 2 balls.
His first best friend.
Stuck at home.
Yeah.
Benjamin's mom watched
Go.
as barriers fell
Where'd the bubbles go?
and a friendship
Woo!
blossomed.
Ooh, bubbles, bubbles.
Those old Tonka toys?
Mary said that she had these trucks for Benjamin.
My son's, he passed away. So they've been sitting down in the basement for years and years.
Mary also lost her husband 37 years ago. Her grand and great-grandchildren all live out of state.
Valentine's Day.
But new photos of Benjamin and his baby brother also now occupy places of honor.
They're the closest thing to grandchildren I have around here.
And as the pandemic eased its grip, Benjamin discovered
Gonna open the fence?
the grass is even greener when you can share a friendship.
Oh boy, I'm gonna get some dirt.
Same side of the fence.
Thank you. Oh, that's nice dirt.
Days passed during the course of the year when their yards remained empty.
I missed them, missed seeing them when it was too cold for them to come out, or when it was raining. Over the top! Yay!
When she said that she misses him, I had never known that. So, yeah, I'm so happy they have each other.
When friendships form, powerful forces are engineered. Look no further than Mary and Benjamin, who built a bridge over 98 years.
You gonna hold my cane?
Boyd Hubert, Care 11 News.
Okay.
Minneapolis.
That was beautiful.
It's a great story.
I love them.
I'll tell you, you just Google Boyd Hooper.
Yeah.
He's one of the best reporters. He can tell a story like nobody else.
Genius.
I think it's interesting because the mom, I'm thinking of this as a dad, but that the mom said, the kid's 2, so half of his life, or more than half of his life, was spent in pandemic, of being away from, isolated from other kids or people, and so that was huge to have that.
And it's so, the juxtaposition between Benjamin, who's just starting his life, and Mary, who's lived such a long life now, and them both going through this shared experience together, it's poetic.
And the power of a child, too.
Yeah.
For an elderly person, that gives them life, really does.
This story kind of reminded me of in college, my sorority, we would go to the retirement home and play bingo with some of the people there, and they just enjoyed our time there with them. Spending time with them just really made their day, and that just made me remember that.
I always think, like, just reach out to somebody you know that is elderly, especially if they don't have their spouse anymore, man or woman. They want to be heard. All you gotta do is listen to an older person. They have a lot to say, I think. All right, we're coming right back. That's just my 2 cents early.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Oh, this IFB sucks. Can't hear anything.
Hi, Facebook.
Hello. Hello. No, I can't hear nothing. It's on. It keeps going in and out, in and out, in and out. Yeah, I can't hear nothing.
Okay, what did you need?
Or like if she talks to me, I'm saying I can't hear.
Okay, I'll go try to figure out what to do.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. That's why I knew she was probably going to talk because they're in
What's
break,
the
but I
story
haven't heard
about, man?
anything, so I didn't know.
All right, I'll let her know. There's a new NHL team, and they get to draft a player from each current team, and when they went to draft.
They drafted the goalie from.
Right, but they said the Carolina Panthers.
Hello.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. So the NHL is expanding, adding a new team in Seattle, which means another expansion draft happened. The Seattle Kraken got to draft one player from each current team as they build their new squad. So when it came to time to draft from the Carolina Hurricanes, the speaker got confused and he said the player was being drafted from the Carolina Panthers. So of course, the internet jumped into action. Both teams had fun with their social media accounts. They changed profile pictures, the infamous hand drawing of the Panthers mascot. We all remember that, right? That came back last night. The Panthers even changed their bio at one point to say, made a hockey team today. Poor guy who got confused. He didn't know.
It was probably typing in at Carolina
Yeah.
and just went with the first thing that came up.
It's great they could just make a joke out of all of it rather than, you know, blowing it up in something
Well,
serious.
now I want to know who would be the best hockey player on the Panthers team. Interesting.
I don't know. Who would be the best football player on the Hurricanes team?
Well, I think a lot of hockey players could be. Don't you think? They're so tough.
Probably.
Yeah.
They
They
fight
get
it out
into
all
it.
the time.
I tell you what, the Panthers social media team is top notch.
Yes.
They're hilarious, and they always are like on top of the current events. Whatever's happening, they're right there. So whenever people set them up like this, it's gold.
They even called out Jalen for his
They
drawing
did.
of the
Yes, they
mascot.
did.
They
That
said
was-
we need a top.
That was so funny.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, so at one point when Sam Howell drew the crazy looking panther, we did it here on the 4 to 5. I won. I just want to make that
hers
clear.
was
Hers
way
was the
better,
best.
way better.
It was great.
But Jalen, I wasn't expecting y'all to be nice.
No, but it
about
really was. I said she's been practicing.
Jalen was really bad, and the Panthers called him out on Twitter.
I think you cheated and you practiced early.
She had a stencil like
Over
I'm
and
sorry,
over.
was that against the rules?
She's like,
She
I'm
admits
going to
it.
do a terrible job, and it was the best
All
one.
right,
Since when is hard work? I'm shamed.
We'll get Monique to do it for us.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
Monique?
Well, it's been dry today, and the rain isn't too far away, though. I mean, taking a look at our satellite and radar, overall, we've been dry today and tomorrow, but the futurecast is showing the chance of some shower and storm activity as we go into your Friday afternoon. Very low chance, though. And then as we go through the course of the day on Saturday, this model in particular sort of hinting at some greater shower and storm chances for the latter part of the day. So this is a look at the rain chances for the next 5 days. You can see overall, though, they're staying low. So we're talking scattered shower and storm chances, mostly concentrated to the afternoon, evening time frame. So that's looking Friday, tomorrow, very low chance, Saturday as well, Sunday low, Monday scattered storm chance, and then on Tuesday as well. So we've been dry. We've been soaking in the dry conditions, but then we're going to need the umbrella soon. So here's the weekend forecast. Now, it's never too early to start talking about the weekend. Warm and muggy for your Saturday, Sunday hot and humid. I wanted to step out to show you those numbers on there for your Saturday and your Sunday. We're definitely going to be heating back up. So that full 7-day showing you some more 90s as we go through the course of the week. Next week, we're really getting into the month of July. Now take a look at those rain chances, though. Over the next couple of days, we start to see them come back into the forecast. We haven't seen them today. We didn't see them yesterday, but the showers will also help to wash out some of this haze.
Right now, children in North Carolina do not need to get their parents' permission before getting the vaccine. Senator Jim Berg.
Hello, this is a mic check. Hello, hey, I found Mo. She's at the big heavy door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota.
Hello. Brett, do I have my microphone on? Did I finally do it